The new gen era of anime has been an era that people have been talking about for a very long time at this point. Ever since 2016, when the term officially became a thing, everyone's been talking about which is the best new gen, the new Gen 3, and such as that. But now that My Hero Academia has finally come to its end, maybe it's time to start moving on to the next era of things, or at least the new gen era of anime. Today we're going to discuss the timeline of the new gen era of anime, see where it started and why it's coming to an end now, as well as seeing what's the future for anime after all of this era is completely finished. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as it helps the channel out and you get to see more videos like this. The distinction of when the new gen era of anime starts is really complicated. Some people say it started back in 2001, while others say that it started hardly at 2016, but I believe it started around 2012, 2013 with the introduction of the Hot Topic Trio, as they were the first mainstream anime in reality to not be long form at the time. If you want to know more about the Hot Topic Trio, check out my video about them that I made last month. But for today's argument, I will start with the 2016 and onward era, as I think that makes more sense for what we're going to talk about today. During that 2016 era, a lot of series came out, and most of them were really popular, but four really dominated the era, specifically Boruto, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and Demon Slayer. All four of these animes will be fighting for a spot on the big three of the new gen era, or people will call the new gen 3, new big three, whatever you want to call it, basically trying to rival the big three of the 2000s. These four series would be huge and be the reason why anime became mainstream officially during the last decade and this decade so far. Each series had something that made it special. Boruto was the sequel to the ever-famous Naruto, and many people wanted to see where it could go. And despite the fact that the series didn't start off very well, many people are excited how this current sequel series is going. Black Clover, written by
Yuki Tabata.
was another series heavily criticized for being very similar to Naruto, but over time many people saw the difference and learned to appreciate it for what it is. Demon Slayer, written and drawn by
Koyoharu Gotoji.
would become a massive hit, going on to be one of the best-selling and most popular manga of all time, surpassing One Piece and ending its reign as the #1 selling Shonen Jump manga for several years in a row. My Hero Academia, one of the most popular series as well, written by
Kohei Horikoshi.
series become one of the most popular seasonal animes ever, having 7 seasons, which is a rare thing for any anime, let alone shonen anime, to have that many seasons. But these weren't the only successes around the time, as there was multiple of other successes, such as Made in the Abyss, as well as Fire Force, being a couple of more series that came around the same time that were putting in a lot of numbers and being well known around the world. You can also say during this time is when the West finally started paying attention closely to seasonal anime, as before it was mainly just maybe one or two that would blow up during the year, while the long-running ones would be the ones that everyone focused on. 2015 to 2018 is such an important aspect of the series, as a lot of the series that blew up during this time would pave the way for other series to blow up in the later half of this era. Series like Gege Akutami's Jujutsu Kaisen really was the next big wave of the anime sphere. Just like Demon Slayer and Dragon Ball Super before it, the series would have a huge film come out that really pushed the series further into new heights, as well as having many famous celebrities in the Western field rep the series. Such celebrities as Usher and Megan Thee Stallion both cosplaying Gojo from the series, and the latter sampling Itadori, the main character, in one of her hit songs. And Bruno Mars posting on Instagram him reading the newest volume at the time of the manga. And you have Tatsuya Endo's Spy Family taking over the genre known as childcare anime and redefining what it is. A massive hit with a movie that just recently came out, as well as several forms of merch. The series is really going strong. And if you want to know more about how it changed the childcare anime genre, go check out the video I made about it. Another massive series that came out during the later half of the new gen era is Blue Lock, as it was the first sports anime since Haikyuu to become mainstream, using the Olympics as a really good selling point of the series. All these series that I've mentioned so far are some of the biggest successes during the new gen era, but this era is finally coming to an end, as a lot of series are ending or are at the risk of falling off. Stop me if you heard this before, that many popular series are ending much sooner than they used to. Which is true, as most series can barely last half as long as Naruto, which was only 700 chapters, which is long comparatively, but series like My Hero Academia can barely reach their 350 chapter mark. Thanks to these lower chapter counts, many series end up not even being around when the anime adaptation finally blows up the series. For example, Demon Slayer's manga had ended a year after the anime adaptation had just came out, missing out on all of the prime era of the series. So now Demon Slayer's manga has been over for almost as long as the anime adaptation has been out. Because of this fact, other series have been affected by this, such as series like Tokyo Revengers, which was poised to be the next big anime of the decade. Perhaps this was the plan all along, or maybe due to the anime's popularity, the manga author continued the series far past this natural conclusion. This led to a lot of manga readers not liking the ending of the series, as well as many of them talking crap about the series overall. As Tokyo Revengers wasn't a big enough hit like Attack on Titan for a bad ending to not squander the series' potential. Now, many people only bring up Tokyo Revengers to remind people how much it fell off. Jujutsu Kaisen might fall into the same trap as of this recording, the series has been announced to only have 5 chapters remaining. Thanks to this fact, many manga readers have now been confused as what's going to happen in the series, as with only 5 chapters left, most of the stuff that they wanted to see will not happen. These last couple of years, the anime series has really been popular and very mainstream for Jujutsu Kaisen, but I think it could survive if the ending isn't as good as people want it to be, but the only problem is the next season or 2 will not have the face of the franchise, Gojo, in it. The series should be fine, as the manga managed to last just as long without Gojo, so the series should be able to move past the fact that Gojo won't be in it, but other series really just don't know how long we're going to still have them around. Right now, the new Gen 3 only has Black Clover still in publication, and that's only because of its release schedule. In a short while, Chainsaw Man will be the last man standing left of the Dark Trio. The new Gen 3 and the Dark Trio were the 6th anime that ran this era, but now that they're almost all coming to an end, I think it's time to look towards the future and see what is the next era going to look like. Kagurabachi is a very recent series that came out last year, and that started off as a meme. Most people called it the Morbius of manga, but now that it's been almost a year since the series started, many people have seen the merit and how good it actually is. The series does have a basic plot to many people, but that didn't stop Demon Slayer from becoming popular. Maybe if it gets a really good anime adaptation, it could take the slot that Demon Slayer is about to give up. As Demon Slayer only has a couple seasons left before the anime is finally done adapting everything from the manga. Sakamoto Days, a series has been around for about 4 years, is finally getting its own anime adaptation later this year, and based on how the anime looks so far from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be able to adapt the manga art very well, as the series is very funny, and the art's very good, and the action's very interesting and very creative. I think that the series will blow up in the later half of 2024 and early 2025. My sleeper pick is Ghost Reaper Girl. I think the series will be huge if it gets an anime adaptation. It will fill that itch that many people want, that Jujutsu Kaisen kind of filled and Chainsaw Man filled as well, as being the next kind of Bleach style story. It was written by the same author as Rosario Vampire, and hopefully they can adapt this series much better than they did that one. Whether we still want to call the next batch of series the new gen era doesn't really matter, as the ones that we grew up on are finally coming to an end. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. I've been Metal Man, and I'll see you next time.